Imagine the world as you know it collapses. Most people around you are not ready. It's a harsh reality, but it's one that we must confront. The majority of individuals in your life, be it family, friends, or neighbors, simply won't have the basics: food, water, or a plan. They'll be caught off guard, unprepared for the unthinkable. You see, prepping is not just a hobby, it's a lifestyle. And to the uninitiated, it might have seemed like an overreaction, a manifestation of paranoia. But when disaster strikes, when the world as we know it crumbles, it's the preppers who stand tall amidst the chaos. And suddenly, what was once dismissed as paranoia becomes the lifeline everyone is reaching for. But being this lifeline comes with its own set of challenges. It's a heavy burden to bear, knowing that you're someone's last resort, their only hope of survival. It's not just about having the supplies and the skills to survive. It's about the emotional weight that comes with being the one who's ready when everyone else is not. It's about the desperate pleas for help, the fear in their eyes, the realization that their survival depends on you. It's about the guilt and the pressure, knowing that you can't possibly help everyone. It's about the difficult decisions you'll have to make, the sacrifices you'll have to endure. And as you face this new reality, as you grapple with the implications of being the only one prepared, you'll find yourself asking, am I really ready for this? Can I bear the weight of others' unpreparedness? It's a question that will test your resolve, your strength, and your humanity. In the end, the choice is yours. Will you rise to the occasion? Will you bear the weight of others' unpreparedness? Or will you crumble under the pressure? The question is, are you ready to carry the weight of others' unpreparedness? When your loved ones show up starving, scared, and desperate, logic takes a back seat. The sight of familiar faces, the people you care about in dire need, creates a whirlwind of emotions that can cloud your judgment. It's a psychological battle that preppers often overlook when planning for survival. When your doorbell rings and you find your neighbor, your cousin, or your childhood friend standing there, desperate and terrified, what do? This scenario isn't just a hypothetical situation, it's a stark reality that could happen when the world as we know it collapses. You've planned meticulously, stocked up resources, food, water, and essentials, but that was for your family. You've calculated the risks, the needs, and the timelines based on your family size. But now there's a knock on the door, a plea for help, and it's from someone you know, someone you care about. The dilemma is real and intense. Do you risk your family's safety and resources to help them? The survivalist in you would argue against it. After all, every extra mouth to feed, every additional person to look after, puts a strain on your resources and potentially jeopardizes your family's safety. But then there's the human in you, the one who feels the pain, the fear, and the desperation of the person standing outside your door. How do you turn them away? Can you live with the guilt, the what-ifs, and the haunting images of despair? This is the emotional versus tactical decision that you, as a prepper, need to consider. It's not just about physical preparedness, it's about mental readiness too. It's about hardening your heart while maintaining your humanity. It's about making decisions that are strategic and logical, but also compassionate and empathetic. Surviving a collapse isn't just a physical challenge, it's a mental one too. It's about maintaining your sanity while the world around you descends into chaos. It's about making tough decisions when every fiber of your being is screaming otherwise. The real question is, can you handle the emotional turmoil of turning away a loved one? You prepared for 4, but now there are 10. What does that mean for your survival? Let's break it down. Imagine you've stocked up for a year. You've meticulously calculated your food and water reserves, medications, fuel, and other essentials. But those calculations were made for 4 people. Now suddenly, you're accommodating 10. This isn't merely a case of splitting the pie into smaller slices, it's a complete upheaval of your survival calculations. Let's talk about food and water first. The amount of food you stored for a year now might last just over 3 months. Remember, you're not just feeding more mouths, you're also dealing with increased demand for variety, dietary restrictions, and individual eating habits. All of these can make your food reserves dwindle even faster. Next comes water. The average person needs about 1 gallon of water per day for drinking and sanitation. So your water reserves that were meant to last a year for 4 people will now barely stretch to cover 4 months. And that's assuming there's no illness, heat waves, or strenuous activity to increase that demand. On to security. More people mean a higher risk of attracting unwanted attention. More footprints, more noise, more light. It also means more potential for disagreements and conflicts within your group. It's not just about physical safety, it's also about maintaining a harmonious living environment. Finally, sustainability. With more people, your fuel for cooking, heating, and powering essential devices is going to run out much quicker. Your sanitation systems will be under more strain. And if you're planning on growing food, you'll need to increase your output significantly. So, what does this all mean? Simply put, the more mouths you feed, the quicker your supplies vanish. And once they're gone, they're gone. You can't just pop to the supermarket in a post-collapse world. Remember, every mouth you feed shortens your survival timeline. It's a harsh truth, but in a survival scenario, math doesn't care about emotions. It's cold, it's hard, and it's unyielding. And it's a reality you need to prepare for. Helping others is noble, but it changes everything. When you say yes to those desperate faces at your door, you're not just agreeing to share your carefully rationed beans and rice. You're inviting a whole new set of consequences into your world. Saying yes means you'll need to ramp up your security measures. You've just increased the number of people who know about your stash, and with that comes the potential for unwanted attention. It's not just about guarding against outsiders anymore, but also keeping an eye on the dynamics within your group. Trust is a luxury you might not be able to afford. Your rationing plans will also need to change. Remember, you prepped for 4 people, not 10. That means you'll have to stretch your food and water supplies even further, and that might involve some tough decisions. It's not just about making the food last, but also ensuring everyone gets enough to maintain their strength and health. Leadership will also become a key issue. More people mean more opinions, and those opinions can lead to conflict. As the one who prepared, you might be expected to take the lead to make the hard decisions. Are you ready for that? Can you handle the responsibility and the potential backlash? And then there's the noise. More people mean more noise. And in a world where silence could be the difference between safety and danger, that's a significant factor. You'll need to establish rules, maybe even assign roles. It's not just about survival anymore, but about managing a miniature society. Saying yes also means accepting more risk. Every new person is a potential weak link, a possible source of conflict, a new variable in your survival equation. It's a gamble, and the stakes are your life and the lives of those you care about. So, remember, when you say yes, you're signing up for more than just extra mouths to feed. You're inviting change, risk, and responsibility into your already complicated survival scenario. Saying yes is noble, but it's also a decision you'll have to live with every single day until things get back to normal, if they ever do. Saying no may protect your family, but it could also create enemies. That's a harsh reality to swallow, but it's a crucial part of the prepping psychology. When you've steeled yourself to say no, you're making a decision that's as much about self-protection as it is about survival. But remember, those you turn away don't just vanish into thin air. Rejection can breed resentment, desperation can lead to aggression, and knowledge of your supplies can make you a target. That's why defensive strategies become paramount. It's not just about physical defenses, like fortifying your home or setting up surveillance. It's also about psychological defenses. Learning to manage guilt, stress, and fear is as vital as any stockpile. You need to be mentally prepared for the reactions of those you turn away and for the potential consequences of your decision. Keeping your stockpile discreet is crucial. The fewer people who know about your resources, the better. If you're seen as the neighborhood supermarket, you'll have a line out the door and around the block. But if you're seen as just another struggling family, you're less likely to be targeted. However, discretion doesn't mean isolation. Building relationships and alliances can be useful. Maybe the person you said no to has skills or resources that could be mutually beneficial. Perhaps a barter system could be established. In a world without a functioning economy, the currency becomes what you have and what you can do. And let's not forget the importance of communication. If you have to say no, do it with empathy. Explain your situation, your reasons. People are more likely to respect a well-explained no than a door slammed in their face. Saying no doesn't mean you're safe, it just changes the nature of the threat. But with preparation, not just of resources, but of emotions and strategies, you can navigate this minefield. Remember, survival isn't just about getting through the night, it's about getting through the aftermath. It's about emerging into the new world intact, both physically and mentally. Is there a middle ground? Can you help without compromising your position? This is the question that haunts many preppers. In a world gone sideways, do you close your doors and hunker down, or do you extend a helping hand? Let's dive into some smart strategies for controlled help, ways in which you can assist others without jeopardizing your own survival. First off, Consider pre-made giveaway bags. These are small packages filled with essentials like food, water, and basic medical supplies. They're not much, but they can buy someone a little more time. The trick here is to have these bags prepared and stored separately from your main stockpile. This way, you're not dipping into your vital resources and you're not revealing the extent of your preparations. Next, let's talk about barter arrangements. In a post-collapse world, currency as we know it may no longer hold value. Goods and skills become the new gold standard. You could, for instance, offer a bag of rice in exchange for a service like firewood chopping or perimeter patrolling. Just remember, clear boundaries are crucial. Don't let desperation drive you into unfair deals that drain your resources. Another strategy is helping from a distance. This could mean pointing others to nearby water sources, advising on edible plants, or sharing knowledge about basic survival skills. The key here is to provide assistance without revealing your stockpile or compromising your safe haven. Now, none of these strategies are foolproof. They all come with risks. But here's where the importance of OPSEC, or operational security, comes into play. You need to be as discreet as possible about your preparations. The less others know about your stockpile, the less likely you are to become a target. Balancing help with security is a tightrope walk, but with the right strategies, you can navigate it. It's about finding that sweet spot where you can maintain your humanity without sacrificing your survival. After all, in the face of crisis, we're all just trying to make it through. The best time to prepare for the collapse is now. It's not just about stockpiling food, water, and other essentials. It's also about setting expectations and boundaries with your loved ones. Yes, we're talking about those uncomfortable conversations that you've been avoiding. Imagine this. The collapse happens, your loved ones are knocking at your door, desperate and unprepared. What do? You can't make that decision then and there, it's too late. The emotional pressure will cloud your judgment. That's why it's crucial to discuss these scenarios now, while we still have the luxury of time and calm. Let your friends and family know about your prepping lifestyle. Explain to them the importance of being prepared and encourage them to start their own prepping journey. Remember, the more people prepared around you, the less pressure on you when the collapse happens. Now let's talk about mutual aid groups. These are groups of like-minded individuals who agree to help each other in times of crisis. It's not just about sharing resources, it's about sharing skills, knowledge, and manpower. Together you can create a robust support network that can withstand even the hardest of times. Setting roles, contributions, and responsibilities is a must in these groups. Everyone should know what is expected of them and what they can expect from others. This way, you can avoid misunderstandings and conflicts when the chips are down. But remember, trust is the foundation of these groups. Only form or join mutual aid groups with people you trust implicitly. Betrayal in a post-collapse world is not just heartbreaking, it's potentially deadly, so start these conversations now. It might be awkward, it might be uncomfortable, but it will be worth it. You're not just preparing for the collapse, you're preparing for the emotional and social challenges that come with it. Preparation is key. The more you prepare now, the better you'll be able to handle the collapse.